हे गाइस, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल साइंटिफाइल्स। मेरा नाम गौरव गुप्ता है और मैं आपको फिजिक्स का कोर्स पढ़ाऊंगा 11th एंड 12th का। और आज मैं स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ क्लास 12th के यूनिट फर्स्ट से, इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स से। सो फर्स्ट आई विल डिस्कस व्हाट इज इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स and what is the meaning of electrostatics. So electrostatic is a word which can be divided into two parts. The first word is the electro and the second word is statics. Electro is a word which is related to the charges. Static is a word means rest. Okay, first I will discuss about what is the meaning of statics. After that I will discuss about what is the meaning of electro. So static means rest, means the velocity of that particle or a body will be zero. So what will happen if the velocity will be zero? So in that case, dx by dt represents the velocity at an instantaneous point. So if velocity will be zero, so dx equals to 0. So after integration, x will come out to be constant, which means the body is not changing its position with respect to time. Body is not changing its position with respect to time. Okay, so in that case velocity will be 0. So this is the meaning of rest. After that I will discuss about what is the meaning of electro. Electro is a word which is related to the charges. So I will describe what are the charges. Charges are the intrinsic property of the material or in a body, which means, so charge, electrical charge. Charge means it is a property of the body through which it responds to the electrical forces or exert electrical force. So charge is an intrinsic property of the body through which it can respond to the electrical forces or exert electrical forces. Electrical forces are the interaction between the two charged particles. So this is an intrinsic property of the body, because if you know a body has always a mass, so mass is also an intrinsic property of the body, but the scenario of mass will come when we will talk about the gravitational forces. While in case of electrical force, the that interaction of is governed by the electrical charges. So the electrical charges, the symbol of electrical charge is Q, and the SI unit of electrical charge is coulombs. This is the symbol of electrical charge, and the SI unit of this electrical charge is coulombs, and the coulomb in general is represented as the symbol C, and charge has always represented in terms of coulombs. So this is the basic unit of charge. नाम गौरव गुप्ता है और मैं आपको फिज़िक्स का कोर्स पढ़ाऊंगा, और आज मैं स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ क्लास 12th के यूनिट फर्स्ट से, इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स से. सो आई विल डिस्क्राइब व्हाट इज़ द मीनिंग ऑफ इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स. इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक इज़ अ वर्ड which can be divided into two parts. The first part is the electro and the second part is statics. Electro is a word which is related to the charges. Static means rest. So इस यूनिट के अंदर हम पढ़ेंगे और डील करेंगे चार्जेस which are at rest, or how they are interacting with other charges, or how the two charges will interact with each other. So first I will discuss about what is the meaning of rest. So a rest का मतलब है जी, सीधी रेस्ट का मतलब है कि अगर किसी वेलोसिटी हे गाइस, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल साइंटिफाइल्स. मेरा नाम गौरव गुप्ता है और मैं आपको फिज़िक्स का कोर्स पढ़ाऊंगा, और आज मैं स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ क्लास 12th के यूनिट फर्स्ट इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक से. सो इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक इज अ वर्ड विच कैन बी डिवाइडेड इनटू टू पार्ट्स. द फर्स्ट वर्ड इज इलेक्ट्रो एंड द सेकेंड वर्ड इज स्टैटिक्स. So the first word electro is related to the charges, and the second word static is related to the rest. Static means actually rest. So first I will describe what is the meaning of rest, then after that I will discuss about electro. So rest means the velocity of that object or particle will be zero. When the velocity will be zero, that body will be at rest. So at an instant of time, the velocity will be zero, which means the velocity can be written in the form of dx by dt. So if it is zero, so dx will go zero like this, and if I will put the integration on both sides, so x will come out to be constant, which means that position of the particle is not changing with the position of particle, or a body is not changing with time, means it is independent of time. So which means कि x is a constant, so that body is at rest. So after that I will discuss what is the meaning of charges. So I will discuss about in a little while. So in this unit we will deal with the charges which are at rest, they are not moving. So I will discuss what is the meaning of charge. So charge is a property of the material, or you can say it is an intrinsic property of the material through which it responds to the electrical forces or exert the electrical forces. Charge intrinsic property of material through which it can exert electrical force or respond to the electrical force. Electrical forces. So charge is an intrinsic property of the material through which it can exert electrical forces or respond to the electrical forces. This is a property of the material just like mass. Generally, previously in 11th class you have already studied a body has always a mass, whether it is a small particle or a big particle. So that in case of mass, there is a force which is called the gravitational force exists between the particle. So the body, if a body is responding to the gravitational forces or exert gravitational forces, so that property of the body is governed by the mass. So while in case of electrical forces, it is governed by the electrical charge. So the symbol of electrical charge is Q, and there are two type of charges. The nature generally, one we can say is of positive charge and another we can say it is of negative charge. So type of charges. First, there are only two types. First is positive charge, second is negative charge. So these are the only two type of charges which are present in a body. I will discuss how these are present in the body through the atom concept. So through the concept of atoms. So generally they have a property positive. If I will take a combination of positive charges and positive negative charges. So the positive means like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. Unlike charges attract each other. These both cases are same. Unlike means one charge is Q and another charge is minus Q, and like means they both of them having the same charge, or we can say the same positive charge. So this is the property of the charges, and there are two type of charges, positive and negative. In case of electrical forces, they on the basis of the charge interaction, they are of two types, whether they can be attractive or repulsive, while in case of gravitational they are of only attractiveness. So gravitational forces are only attractive. हे गाइस, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल साइंटिफाइल्स। मेरा नाम गौरव गुप्ता है और मैं आपको फिज़िक्स का कोर्स पढ़ाऊंगा 11th एंड 12th का। और आज मैं स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ क्लास 12th के कोर्स से। सो मैं topic is unit first, electrostatics. So what is the meaning of electrostatics? Electrostatic is a branch of science in which we deal with the charges which are at rest. I will describe. This electrostatic word can be break into two parts. First word is electro and second word is statics. So the electro word means charges and static means rest. I'll discuss about this the word of electro in a little while. First I will discuss about what is the meaning of rest. So rest means the velocity of the particle will be zero. Generally a velocity can be written as dx by dt, velocity, and if it is zero, so in that case it will go like this. If I will put integration on both sides, so x will come out to be constant, so which means that position of the particle is not changing with time, means position is independent of time. So in that case the velocity will be zero, its position will be constant, which means the body will be at rest. So this is the meaning of rest. So in this unit we will deal with the electrical charges which are at rest. So what is the meaning of electrical charge? Electrical charge is a property of the material, just like mass, through which it can respond to the electrical forces or exert electrical forces. Means charge property of the material through which it can exert electrical force or respond to electrical force. Meaning, this is the meaning of charge. So I will describe. Generally in 11th class every particle has always a mass. So in class 11th, if two masses are present of mass m1 and m2, how they will interact with each other, or how the two weight bodies or heavy bodies or light bodies will interact through each other with each other. So they will interact through each other through the in terms of gravitational forces, means the interaction or the forces which are acting between these two masses bodies will be the interaction will be through gravitational forces. So that gravitational forces will be governed by the mass. So mass is just like the property same like charge, but the difference is that in this case the gravitational, when we are representing in terms of masses, the bodies are having the gravitational forces which are of only attractive nature, while that when two charges are present, the electrical force can be attractive or it can be repulsive. So this is the actually what the meaning of charge. So charge can be divided into two parts, or there are two type of charges. The first one is the positive charge, and the second one is the negative charge. In class 10th, you have studied about the atoms. So in an atom, at the center, a nucleus is present, and there are electrons which revolve in the outer shells through which are surrounding this nucleus. So in the nucleus there are two type of particles are present. One is proton and another is neutron. While the electrons are revolving around in the shells, so generally in an atom there are total three type of elementary particles which are present in an atom. Atom symbol you already know, or I will tell you, it can be written as in terms of this, where X represent the symbol of atom, Z is, or you can say atomic number, and A you can say mass number. So the basic example is if I will take an oxygen atom, so the symbol O represents the oxygen and 8 represents the atomic number, and if I will put 16 here, which is double of this approximately, so this is my mass number. This is mass number, this is atomic number, this is symbol of atom. So in an atom, Z represents the number of electrons, or it can be equal to number of protons also, while A represents the sum of protons and neutron. N is the number of neutrons. Number of neutrons. And in an atom, proton is a positive charged particle, and electron is a negative charged particle. I'll describe the type of charges through this, and how the charges will be produced in a body, and how one charge can transfer from one body to another body. So the proton is a positively charged particle, while electron is a negatively charged particle, and neutron does not have any charge, so it is not having any charge. So you can calculate the number of neutrons easily if we know the mass number and the atomic number. So number of neutron can be find out from A minus Z. By doing this simple calculation, we can find out what are the number of neutrons. So in an atom, generally the number of protons are always equal to the number of electrons, which means proton represents the positive charges while electrons represent the negative charges. So the concept of two charges, the type of two charges will come out from this. So generally there are two type of charges. One is having a positive charge and another is having of negative charge, and the property of the charges will be, if I will rub this section, so property of charge. A charge has a symbol Q. A charge is always represented by the symbol Q. So the property of charge is, unlike charges attract each other, while like charges repel each other. So what is the meaning of unlike and what is the meaning of like? Unlike means if I will put a combination of if I am taking a positive charge and a negative charge, so this means the unlike means they are having of two different charges of having, one is having a positive sign and another is of negative sign. So it means the unlike property. Unlike means the two charges are of different signs, and like means they are of having of same signs. Means if I will take a combination of like positive positive or negative negative charges. So unlike charges means if I put a positive charge and negative charge in the vicinity, if I will put positive charge here and negative charge here, they will attract each other, while the like charges means if I put a positive and positive charge combination and negative and negative charge combination, so they will repel each other. So this is the basic property of the electrical charges, and I'll show you, I'll tell you what is the origin of electrical charge. So by through the concept of atom, you already understood the number of protons and the number of electrons in an atom generally is always constant. So suppose if I will remove some electrons or some protons by giving some energy to the atom somehow, and remove few charges from this atom, so the atom will get some charge. Means this is your nucleus. So suppose if I will take an example of just like oxygen atom 16. So in this, number of protons or number of electrons, this means electrons. I will always generally write the abbreviations in the same way. So the number of electrons and the number of protons is always equal to the atomic number, which is coming out to be 8 by comparing to this representation. So this is 8, and number of neutrons will be, if I will minus 16 minus 8, do this small calculation. So the number of neutrons is coming out to be 8. But neutrons are no charge. Neutrons doesn't have any charge, so there is no point to discuss about the neutrons here. So I will discuss only about the protons and the electrons. So in the oxygen atom, the number of protons and number of electrons are equal initially. So which means this system is electrically neutral right now. Means ki positive and there are equal number of positive and negative charges are present in the system. So if I will add both of these charges, positive and negative, so they will make the total system charge will be 0. So this is the case of electrical neutral condition, which means total charge will be 0. So here the number of protons and number of electrons are equal, so 8 minus 8 will go out to be 0. If if I will give some energy to this atom somehow, if I will maybe if I will heat a particular board, because in any material there are a lot of number of atoms are present. If I am heating a material, so basically what I am doing, I am giving some thermal energy, I am giving some energy in terms of thermal energy to this particle or to this electron, and what it will do, after getting some thermal energy, it will leave its shell in which it is revolving, and it will become free. When it will be free? When some external energy will be provided. So this electron will go out to be free. So in that case, if this electron will be go out free, so if I will remove one electron from this oxygen atom, so what will happen? Electron will go out. So in that case, the number of protons or number of electrons in that system after removal of one electron will not be equal. Means which means number of protons will be 8 after removal of one electron. So, and number of electrons come out to be 7. So the total charge on the system will be come out to be 8. If I will do some calculation like 8 minus 7, so it is coming out to be plus 1, which is not equal to 0. So it doesn't satisfy the electrical neutrality condition. So that atom will get some charge by the removal of one electron from that. So this is the case how the charges will be produced in a body, because in case of a body there are a lot of number of atoms are present, but I am specifically talking about only a particular atom. So if suppose if in general if this duster contains 15 atoms, so if every atom is generating one electron, so there are 15 electrons which becomes, after giving some thermal energy to this or by rubbing like this to this basically duster, so there are 15 electron will be free and 15 positive charges. So there are 15 positive charges on this duster and 15 negative charges will be present. So this is the concept how a charge can be produced, and there are generally two type of methods through a charge can be produced. One is of having the method of conduction and another method is induction. So method 2 produce electrical charge. First method is conduction and the second method is induction. In case of conduction method, suppose if I am taking a body like this and if I am taking a rod, or if I will take this duster or this marker, and if this duster is having some positive charge, if this first object gets in contact with the second object, so due to conduction some charge will get transferred from this first object to the second object, and the second object will get some charge which is having of opposite sign. So this is the method of conduction. In case of conduction method, a contact is needed actually to transfer charge. Okay, while in case of induction there is no contact. In this case, if I will take two bodies like this, if I will place two bodies like this, suppose this is body having of first body and this is second. So if this first body is having a positive charge inside this, so what will happen if I will take this first body in the vicinity of second body? So the first body, if the in this the first body, this face, the right hand side face of first body is facing the left hand side of the second body. So what will happen, this positive charge will attract the negative charge which might be present in the second body, and this is the process which is called the method of induction. In this, there is no contact between these two bodies. So this is the difference between these two methods. So a contact is not needed to produce charges. So these are the two methods through which the charges can be produced on a body. Okay, so maybe you people have done some basic example or some experiment in your class 10th or class 9th, where what we are doing, where suppose if I take a scale and if I rub that scale with my hair, so that scale after rubbing will attract the pieces of paper. So this is the basic example every student generally do in their life. So in that case, the rubbing will provide some thermal energy to the electrons which are revolving into the shells. So after rubbing, after getting the thermal energy, that electron will be removed from its outer shells and that body will get some charge. So this is the basic concept of charge production and the method to produce the electrical charge. So I'll describe what is the unit of electrical charge and the property of charges further. First I will discuss about or will tell you what is the meaning of quantization of electrical charge. Quantization means, suppose if I am taking a piece of paper and if I will tear into small number of pieces, suppose if I will take this, which example I will take? I will take a simple example. Suppose this is a continuous body, or suppose this is a piece of paper. If I will tear into this piece of paper into small pieces, so dividing a complete piece of paper or a continuous piece of paper into smaller objects, whether these smaller objects or smaller pieces might have the same physical dimension exactly with each other, or they may not have, because if we see, this piece of paper is generally might be larger than comparative to this piece of paper. So the physical dimension of each piece of paper is not same, and it can be same. So dividing a continuous object into the smaller pieces, or I can write continuous conversion to discrete, dividing a continuous object into a discrete objects. So this is the meaning of quantization. So in case of quantization, what we will generally do, Suppose if I will take a body of random shape like this, and this body represent having a total charge q, we don't know what if I will take a piece from this body, or cut a piece from this body. So what is the electrical charge which is present only on this small piece, whether given is that the total charge is only q. It means a total charge is q is present only on the body itself, through on the whole body. But if I want to find out what is the charge on the small piece, so that piece, if I will divide this big object into smaller pieces, so the process of quantization will tell me what is the charge can be present on the small piece. So this is the meaning of quantization. So in case of quantization, a charge q is written like this, where n represents an integer. It can be positive, negative and 0, while E is base unit of charge, means which is the base unit of electrical charge, or we can say the value of this base unit is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs. I'll discuss about what is the meaning of coulomb. Coulomb, right now for you, it is the SI unit of charge, and this is a symbol of coulombs. So the spelling of the coulombs is written in full form like this. So this is the SI unit of charge. You have already studied in class 11th what is the SI unit. These are the international standard unit system. So generally every quantity unit will always be represented in terms of in the SI system, and the SI unit of electrical charge is coulomb. So and the symbol is C. So this is the quantization case. So in this case, a charge is divided into number of pieces, means n represents a number and E represents the base unit of charge. So suppose in this case it might happen if it is written as 5e, first example, and in second case if it is written as minus 5e. So 5 represents a number and E represents the base unit, while here it is a positive sign and here it is a negative sign. So it indicates it is of negative charge and it is a positive charge. So if I want to find out, suppose it is a body. So in this there are many charges which are present inside this body. So if I want to find out what is the total charge on this body, so what I will do, charges follows the additivity property, which means the total charge on a body let's say it is Q, will be equal to the summation of these charges individually, means the Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 plus Q4 plus Q5. Here I am considering only the 5 charges just for example. So if there are n number of charges, so it will go up to Qn. So suppose this is there are two charges. Suppose there are two charges. If I take an example, so suppose there are two charges which are present on a system, Q1 and Q2, and Q1 is having of magnitude 5e and Q2 is having of magnitude minus 5e. So the total charge will come out to be 0, means 5e and minus 5e will be 0. This minus will come out due to this, because this charge is having of minus sign. It is done like this. If I will put 5e and plus of minus 5e, if I will take the value, so it will go out to be 0. So this is the basic example. So how a total charge can be find out on a body, and if this charge is positive, so what will happen, this will become positive and the value will come out to be in that case 10e. So these are the two basic examples. So how a charge can on a body can be find out if the individual number of charges are present on the system. So it indicates the total charge on an isolated system is always constant, which means isolated system means that system which is not interacting with other systems. So that property is called conservation of charge. So conservation of charge means total charge on isolated system is always constant. Isolated system means not interacting with other systems. This is the meaning of isolated. So if the total charge Q is present on the system, so that will be only the charge Q, which means charge can be transferred from one body to another body, and while if it is an isolated system, so it will always be constant. So its value never decreases and its value never increase. Constant means no increase or no decrease. So this is the meaning of total charge or constant. So the total charge on an isolated system is always constant. So this is the meaning of conservation actually. So I have already discussed about a body is always having a mass, and while it is having also the property of charge. So the difference between charge and mass lies in this concept: two type of charges. There are also two types, not in terms of like positive and negative. The type is heavy and light. A body can be heavy or a body can be light, while in case of electrical charge, electrical forces can be attractive or repulsive, while in case of mass, gravitational force is always attractive. So this is the first difference between these, the charge and mass. And the third difference is charge does not depend upon the velocity while mass depends upon the velocity. I'll show you. Does not depend on velocity. This is our third difference. So here the masses depends upon the velocity of that body. How? It is having a relation like this. So actually you will study about this relation when you will go in the graduation. So here m naught represents the rest mass. M naught represents the rest mass, while v represents the velocity of particle, and this c represents the velocity of light. So this is my rest mass when velocity is 0, and this is the velocity of body. This is velocity of light, and this is moving mass. It is not having any this concept. So generally this formula will be discussed when we will talk about the relativistic terms. So you will study this in your graduation. So here in general, charge does not depend on the velocity, while if a body is moving, so its mass is decreasing with the increase of velocity in terms of this relation. So and charge is always conserved, while mass is not conserved, because mass can get converted into energy through the relation of Einstein. It might be you have already studied about this relation in whether in your class 10th or class 11th. So this is the Einstein energy mass relation, and this mass can convert into energy and energy can also be converted into mass. So which means that mass of a body is not conserved. So these are the basic differences between the charge and masses. So after this I will describe how the two charges will interact with each other and what are the interactions and what that interaction is called to be. So that interaction is governed by the Coulomb's law. Actually this concept of charge is discovered, or this electrostatic concept is discovered around the 600 BC, a German philosopher. So the interaction between, so that is a basic old theory. So I'll describe how the two charges will interact with each other. So this law represents the interaction or the electrical force relation between the two charges. Suppose if I am taking Q1 and Q2 charge and there is some distance r between these two charges, so in that case F represents the electrical force and it is proportional to the magnitude of charge Q1, magnitude of charge Q2, and while it is inversely proportional to the square of distance between these two charge particles, because r represents here the distance between these two charge particles. I'll write distance between two charge particles. So Q1 represents the magnitude of charge Q1 and Q2 represents the magnitude of charge Q2. It might possible that you already know about what is the magnitude of charge, because charge is a scalar quantity. Charge is not a vector quantity. A vector quantity means which is having a magnitude and direction both, while a scalar means it is having only the magnitude, not direction. So this electrical force is related to this charges interaction through this. It is directly proportional to product of Q1 and Q2 and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. So if I will remove this constant of proportionality, so this constant of proportionality is written in terms of K, and this relation will go like this. Here this force is represented in terms of magnitude. I am not representing in terms of vector. I will represent after a little while. So this is the basic law which tells you how the two charges will interact with each other if there are two charges are present and if they are separated by a distance r. So this K, which is a constant of proportionality, is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So generally these values or this K equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught relation is find out after doing the experiment. If I'll do some experiment, I'll put together a number of charges, and if I'll try to find out what is the electrical force after doing that simple experiment, this K can be find out by just fitting the experimental data and try to incorporate or try to fit the values. This K can be find out. So this K is calculated. The formula of K is this, and the value of K is 9 into 10 raised to power 9. I will describe what is the unit, and I will show you. I will also teach you how a unit of epsilon naught can be find out and or can be calculated, and what or dimension can be calculated. So this epsilon naught represents the electrical permittivity of free space. Free space means there is only vacuum which means no air or any gas or any medium. There is only a vacuum. There is no single particle of any gas or no air is present in that system. So this is the electrical permittivity of the free space, which describe how the two charges will interact with each other. It actually affects the material properties. Whether if I will talk about in your higher classes we will study might be the optical properties. So that properties will be affected by this. So I hope you have heard about the concept of refractive index. So if in a case of refractive index is more, so refractive index, if N2 represents the refractive index of this denser medium, rarer medium N1, so if the refractive index of this N2 or denser medium will be more, so there will be more number of atoms will be placed closely in this system, and the ray which is going from rarer to denser, it will move maximally towards the normal in that case. So this refractive index can be calculated from this electrical permittivity. And after we are progressing towards the course, I'll describe how the electrical refractive index can be calculated from this electrical permittivity, and there is also So this is my relation of electrical permittivity and represents the refractive index of the material. So I'll describe what is, if I will put the two charges in a medium, and what is this electrical permittivity. I will also tell you how what is the unit and dimension of this electrical permittivity, and what are the unit and dimension of this K values. So if I will put the two charges in the medium means if I take a glass of water, if I will put the charges, or if in the glass of water, so these are the two charges, this is my medium. In this case the R is the distance between these two. So the electrical permittivity of this medium will be represented by the epsilon. So in that case we have to represent this electrical permittivity with respect to the vacuum. So generally a vacuum represents, when I am representing the epsilon naught is electrical permittivity of vacuum, means no air or no gas basically. So in that case the relative electrical permittivity will be represented by this function, the epsilon r, which is written as epsilon by epsilon naught. This is, we already know, this is the permittivity of medium, and this epsilon naught represent permittivity of vacuum. This epsilon are the relative electrical permittivity, just like the relative refractive index. There are two refractive index. Okay, so this, how the force will be represented when the two charges are present in this system. So in that case the magnitude of force will be written in this, when the two charges are present in the system, electrical force for this system will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and it is q1 q2 divided by r square. If I multiply here, this is a separate relation actually. So if I multiply epsilon r with epsilon naught, so epsilon will become, in that case, so 1 by 4 pi epsilon r epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r square, and this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r square will become the electrical force when it is represented, when the two charges are present in the vacuum. So it can be represented, I am writing the force as F1, so it will become F1 by epsilon r. So this is a relation between the electrical force which is when having in the medium or it is in the vacuum. This is the relation. So I'll also I will describe how the units of this electrical permittivity and dimension can be calculated for any system. So generally what is the unit and dimension of epsilon naught? Epsilon naught can be written in terms of this by a simple conversion, q1 q2 divided by f r square. What I have done, I have just changed the variables. I had taken f here in the down in the denominator, and I have moved the epsilon naught like this. So when we are trying to find out the unit of this epsilon naught, in case of generally the unit always represented in SI unit system, the force unit is Newton, and this distance unit is meters, and the charge unit is coulombs, so it can be calculated. The 4 is a number and pi is a constant, so it is not having a unit and dimension. So there are two charges, so coulombs of same base power will be added together, so it will be coulomb square. So this force will go Newton and this is meter square, so the unit will be c square n ke power minus 1 and this is m ke power minus 2. So this is the unit of electrical permittivity, and k unit can be find out by just the inverse of this, which will be c minus 2 n1 m2. So basically this is the unit, and the dimension of this can also be calculated. The force dimension is written as mLT minus 2. It can be calculated from the formula of mass into acceleration, because mass dimension will be m and acceleration dimension is LT minus 2, because acceleration is the velocity upon time and velocity represents the distance upon time or displacement upon time. So it will be L by T square, so T will go upward, it will become mLT minus 2. So and the dimension of R is L, and the charge dimension can be calculated easily from the current and charge relation, which can be written as, and the dimension of current is amperes, so ampere will go like this and charge by time, so dimension of charge will be AT. And after by putting all these things into the formula, it will go, here there are two charges simultaneously, so a square t square, same base power add, and the F will be mLT minus 2 and R will be L square. So it can be written as m minus 1 L cube L minus 3 L ki power minus 3 A ki power 2, and T will, if it will go upwards, so T will become 4, and dimension always represented in the square brackets. So these are this is the dimension of epsilon naught, and K dimension can also be calculated by the inverse of this basically. So this is the unit and dimension of the electrical permittivity. So I'll describe, if there are number of charges are present in the system, so how those charges will interact with each other. Before that, I will describe the Coulomb's law in the vector form. A Coulomb's law in vector form can be written as, I have written previously in terms of only the magnitude form. When I am trying to represent in the vector form, I have to multiply it with the unit position vector. This is Coulomb's law in vector form. So this will be this, so K Q1 Q2 divide by R square, this is R cap, and generally a unit position vector means its magnitude is +1, and it is written as R vector divided by mod R vector. When I will incorporate this into formula, so it will go like this. This R will be written by this, and this R square is already mod R square, this R from this formula, so it will go like so. This is an equation when the Coulomb's law is represented in the vector form. Vector means it is having a magnitude as well as the direction, while a scalar means it is only having a magnitude. And if there are number of charges present in a system, suppose if I will take three charges. So how the total force on these three charges can be calculated, that will be governed by this principle that is called the superposition principle, in which what this principle states, it states that by considering a single charge, the interaction with other charges can be calculated and the repetition is not allowed, which means the net force in a system will be K mod Q1 mod Q2 divided by R1 square by considering the first charge. So, and after that K Q1 Q3 divided by R2 square and K Q2 Q3 divided by R3 square. The repetition is not allowed because basically the two charges, between the two charges the Newton's third law will exist. So due to that the repetition is not allowed. So I am not taking the Q2 cross Q1 combination or Q3 cross Q2 combination because they are already represented. So this is the basic representation, how if there are some charges present in a system, so the total force can be calculated. So this is for just three charges. If there are number of charges, so just by add with each other by not repeating the terms. So in this part of the video I have described what is the origin of electric charge and what is the meaning of electric charge, and what is the quantization of electric charge and what is the unit of electric charge and how they are interacting with each other, and if there are system of charges, so how the total force of the system can be written. So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe with your friends, family, and if you have any doubt, please put in the comment.